Hey there, NaniwaPJ, Kansai PJ. Woohoo, it's me. I was tagged by oborogin for the 51 Things in My Room game. This is challenging. This is my third time to record it because I take 5 minutes just to say hello. How am I going to show you 51 things? My God. Or gods. I'm going to try to do that now by doing it thematically. So here we go. Theme number 1.
Okay, I'm going to show you the whiskey boxes from my favorite whiskeys of almost of all time, I think. Royal 21 is a Scotch blend. Redbreast 12 is an Irish blend. Fabulous. Speaking of Irish, Crested 10 is a blend of 10 different single Irish malts. Probably my favorite blend of all time. On the single malt category, but remaining in Ireland, Bushmalt 16. Little taste of heaven. Moving back to Scotland, if you will, in the single malt category, Macallan 18, Fine Oak. Lovely flavor. Probably my favorite whiskey of all time in the single malt category, a Kentoshan Triple Wood. Really complicated flavor profile. Lovely stuff. A Kentoshan 3 Wood. It's a lowland single malt. Okay, moving on. Glenfiddich Solera Reserve. A lot of people, when they first start drinking whiskey, they move to one of the Glenfiddich's more common lines, and they're okay. But the only Glenfiddich that I really enjoy is the Solera Reserve. Really good stuff. And quite economical. Moving on to bourbon. Elijah Craig Single Barrel. A lovely small batch bourbon. Delicious stuff. Moving on to Tennessee whiskey. Jack Daniels gets a pretty bad name, and I'm not a friend of the normal black bottle Jack number 7. But the Silver Select is really good, and if you like Tennessee whiskey, there's nothing better than Silver Select. And then probably to finish, well, not to finish this section, Glenmorangie Cellar 13. Really good single malt, delicious. Those are my 10 favorite whiskeys, as shown by my whiskey box collection. Okay, moving on to the next category. CDs. I'm going to come over here for this. I don't have CDs much anymore because I have iTunes and, I try to make my pictures and music digital, but I do have some CDs, so I want to show you my 10 favorite physical CDs these days. I'm really into soundtracks, and right now my favorite soundtrack is The Dark Knight or Batman 2. Great, great, great music. And then anything from Bear McCreary, the composer for Galactica. We start off with the miniseries, which Richard Gibb and he did. Then Season 1, which is Bear McCreary. Season 2. Season 3, and I cannot wait for Season 4 to come out. And another soundtrack that I'm really into, it's an old movie, Razor's Edge, which is itself a remake, a beautiful soundtrack. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's 6, 4 more to show you. As I said, I don't get a lot of music CDs, particularly rock, I just download the music, mostly legally. But one of my students is in a band, and they produce albums independently, and so I'd have to put those on my favorite CD list. The band is The Musique. And the lead singer is Joshua. You can see him, or Yoshia, you can see him in my previous video, so check him out. So there are 3 CDs. And their first non-independent label CD, which is a compilation of young high school and college bands in Japan. So that completes my 10 favorite CDs. On to the new topic. Next category would be DVD season dramas. My favorite of all time, and people are probably going to laugh, but I think it's great, Frasier. It's the best comedy, I think, of all time, traditional style American sitcom. Every act is like a Noel Coward play, and there are 11 seasons, so you really see the characters develop. I watch this about once a year. I go from the beginning, I have all the seasons, and I go from the beginning to the end in sequence. The next drama in the comedy category that's probably my favorite, and some of the, not the best acting, but some of the best writing ever, would be Seinfeld, and everybody knows Seinfeld's all 8 seasons. Again, like Frasier, I have all of them, and I watch them from beginning to end at least once a year. Good stuff. Related to Seinfeld is Curb Your Enthusiasm by Larry David. Hilarious, and I have all of the seasons, although this is not yet done, so it's still ongoing. Great stuff. Rounding out the comedy category would be Arrested Development. Probably the best comedy ever done, and it was canceled after only 3 short seasons. But it was fabulous. Acting, scripts, everything. Good stuff. Moving on to drama. Queer as Folk. I like both the American and the British versions, but because the American version is much longer, I think the characters are far more developed. But I love this. Next would be The West Wing. I know it's no longer on, but it's a show that I can watch again and again, and it's fabulous. Will and Grace, they had good episodes and bad episodes, but it was the first comedy that really was about gay people laughing at the straight world. So I really enjoyed it, for the most part, quite a lot. Now onto the science fiction category. Firefly, another superb show that was cut short. I have the movie Serenity, and only season ever produced. Good stuff. Stargate, I have all the old Stargates, and I used to love this a lot until Galactica came along and spoiled me for all traditional science fiction. Still watch Atlantis, but I do have all the Stargates from many years ago. and probably the best television ever produced, and I know you're laughing, but it's still true, Battlestar Galactica. For those of you who don't know, haven't given the show a shot, really do. It's a fabulous show. It's probably the best human drama I have seen, point blank. This is the Japanese version, but I have all 3 seasons in Japanese and in English, so I have 6 season boxes, and season 4 has been pre-ordered. Okay, that's it for DVDs. Seasons. Let's go on to movies, shall we? Okay, we're back again. Now we're going to do my 10 favorite DVDs. Actually, they're not my 10 favorite. I have a lot of favorites, but they're in the top 20. First one, Last of the Mohicans. Great cinematography, wonderful story. Phenomena. Really uplifting, very, this everything I want to believe the world, this is it. Probably one of the greatest allegorical stories ever told, the Hudsucker Proxy. Really underestimated for the quality of the story. In terms of beautiful cinematography, Stargate, the movie, not the TV, very different, very opening, it was just great, I liked it. Probably closest to my heart would be the new Batman series, Batman Begins, and The Dark Knight, which has been pre-ordered and should arrive in the next day or 2. Classic from my youth, Smokey and the Bandit, yeehaw! Gotta love this, good stuff. Speaking of philosophical movies, The Razor's Edge, it was a remake, but it was a classic. I also showed you the soundtrack for this. Great, great movie. Contact, great. Jerry Maguire, great. And the last in the series of 10, The Last Samurai. I have mixed feelings about this movie, and it's too complicated to explain. Someday, if you're interested, I'll talk about it. But I'm including it because it's easy. I like it. But I do have mixed feelings. Okay, that's movies. Moving on to the next category. Okay, next category in my race against time, my 10 favorite academic texts. As many of you know, I just completed my master's in TESOL, and I hope eventually to go on in the next year or 2 to a PhD program in linguistics or second language. Most of my work is in identity and motivation, so you'll see that in these 10 books. Language and Sexuality, a great book. Next one, Identity and Language Learning. You can see all the tabs. This has really been useful for my research. Harry Walcott's Transforming Qualitative Data, for his time, a really avant-garde anthropologist and scholar. Motivation and Second Language Research, Motivation and Second Language Acquisition, a great, great resource for me. A very small book, but very useful, part of a very useful series, in fact. But this one's called Emotions and Fieldwork. Basically, how does the qualitative researcher integrate their emotions into the data? Next one, Memory, Identity, and Community. The idea of the narrative in human social sciences, or human sciences. Fabulous book. I'm still in the middle of reading that one. This one I haven't yet read, but, actually I've read sections of, but I haven't read the entire book yet, but so far I really enjoy it. The Transformation of Intimacy, Sexuality, Love, and Eroticism in Modern Societies. Good stuff. Taboo, Sex, Identity, Erotic Subjectivity in Anthropological Fieldwork. This is not so much for the research that I'm doing, of course, but I really think sexuality and identity really play a role in second language acquisition, so I'm reading this to get some ideas. And another, it's more of a textbook, but I find it very useful, Identity and Difference, fabulous book. And then last, probably my Bible for qualitative research, how to do it, how to analyze it, how to write it up. Here we go, Qualitative Research, Evaluative Methods by Patton. It's really thick. I believe there's a new edition coming, but this is the one I have, 3rd edition, fabulous. So that's 10 academic books. And the last thing I'm going to include, my iPhone, because you need 51 and I need 1 of something. I love this little tool. It's a connectivity tool, it's a resource. It allows me to stay in touch with work and students and academic and social, all on one little device. God bless the iPhone. God bless the iPhone. Oh look, you can see my reflection. Isn't that weird? Oh, that's very trippy, look at that. It's a reflection of a reflection of a reflection of me. Okay, anyway, that's 51 things. I'm going to tag a bunch of people. Please check the link on the right side to see whom I've tagged. I hope you'll play. If you've already been tagged by someone else, then don't worry about it. But if you haven't played yet, if I've tagged you, please play. And if you're watching this and you haven't been tagged but you really want to play, play anyway. Hey, that's part of the fun. NaniwaPJ, Kansai PJ, checking out. Bye-bye for now.